It's time to think of rejection as a myth and to start seeing rejection as something you reject. Give me a couple of minutes and I'm going to explain how. So my name's Ruth Ellen and I run the She Can channel where we shift, heal and expand, because I truly believe each and every single woman in business can change the world. We're world changers and we're here to help people in this world to be the best version that they can be through our gifts. So in this video, this is touching upon the success principle number 18. Yeah, number 18. Where we're looking at rejection as a myth. We're learning to reject rejection. Because we see rejection as this big thing. It hurts us so much. We make stories out of it. But here's the deal. The thing you asked for that you didn't get hasn't changed because you didn't get what you asked for. It's still the same. You're no worse off than you was before. But yet we make stories to make a compound effect of stories that hold us restricted and keep us shackled and chains. And so this success principle is all about breaking that and knowing that if you just persevere, if you just keep going, if you just take rejection as respect instead, and actually take rejection and reframe it into a healthy thing, and it's going to help you to get your desires. Did you know that Stephen King once threw the script for Carrie in a bin because he got rejected so many times? He actually threw it in a bin and his wife found it and said, this is not happening. And so shortly after that, it got turned into a blockbuster. But can you imagine if we never got Carrie? How many memes and other jokes and other films would have not been created because of that film? How many other films would Stephen King not have been inspired to create after that film? What would have happened to the horror genre? I mean, I'm not a horror fan, but I know for one, I would not have been scarred by things like Chucky and Freddy if other things that Stephen King made, like It, was never shown on screen. And so we must think of our business as world changing, that if we don't put it out in the world, if we don't change the way we perceive rejection, and if we don't shift our thinking towards rejection, we're going to be doing a disservice to the world. People need what you have. And so how do you break the bonds of rejection? Well, let's get back to some of the strategies that Jack Canfield talks about in his success principles. So there was lots of stories about people that have got rejected, but persevering and not stopping on one. And so we're talking about reframing mainly, because we can hear lots of people's stories about Alexander Graham Bell offered the rights to the telephone for $100,000 to Carl Alton, and Carl Alton said no thanks. Imagine if Alexander Graham Bell stopped. You would not be able to probably use this phone right now, or the phone that you're using, or any of the technology that's associated with the phone. There's so many reasons that you need to break the bond of rejection, but it might not be an overnight thing. It might be a step-by-step thing. It might be clearing those codes in your ancestral DNA. It might be something as simple as breaking those habits by creating new ones that work for you. So asking on a daily basis, taking the sting and the pain out of rejection itself, writing down all the good things that have happened because other people have said no and the great opportunities that have come. This is about a step-by-step thing. This is about you coming a little bit outside your comfort zone on a daily basis. This is about you tapping on the pain of the rejection or the perceived rejection, but seeing it more so as a myth, that it doesn't exist. That if anything is heavy for you, it doesn't serve you. What is it? What's it bringing you? Then you can get rid of it. And you can be ignorant to it if you want, because that's a better reframe than surely holding on to a word that doesn't serve you. So this is all about rejecting rejection and saying, no, that doesn't work for me. No such thing. Thank you, next, as Ariana Grande says. In fact, why don't you start to anchor some of those words when you listen to songs that help you to move forward, because that probably can get into your subconscious mind much more easier as well. Thank you, next. What you keep on saying, thank you, next. I had to make hundreds of phone calls a day when I was in sales, and I got no after no after no, but I knew that each no was closer to a yes. And when I did get through to the decision maker, when I did have this conversation with the decision maker, when they said yes or when they said no, I knew that all of the things before was worth it, and I wouldn't be able to get to that pivotal point of getting that yes if I didn't go through the no's. So it's time to break through those ancestral patterns. It's time to break through those stories. It's time to have your breakthrough and really start to reframe what rejection means to you. Because at the end of the day, that's how you really implement the success principles. That's how you're going to really elevate your goals in your business. And that's how you're going to get past the, oh, I can't ask for the sale. Because at the end of the day, business, you're in a business. You aren't in a volunteer type group where you don't ask for what you need. And even if you are in a volunteer group, you probably still need to ask for what you need. And so each and every time you step out and you say yes to yourself, you're turning rejection on its head and making it the myth that it is. Because at the end of the day, you are the boss and you get to decide what you're letting into your energetic field, what you're letting into your mind, what you're letting into your path, and what you're letting get in the way of your path of success. Are you really going to let rejection stop you from having a successful, thriving business and changing the world? I think not. So, thumbs up this video. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. And comment about your rejection myths. In fact, why don't you say rejection is a myth because, and then say exactly why it is a myth. Even if you're just not, if you're putting it in your journal and you're not putting it in the comments, but I think if you want to take that next step of being courageous, that's what it takes. Whatever it takes, right? Because that's your vision and you're holding it in front of you and you know for a fact that you are going to win. You are going to change the world. I truly believe that. Thank you for watching.